Hey everybody. So, yesterday was our last game of the season against the Georgia Bulldogs. Of course, we lost that one badly. And today, Jeff Collins in his interview wasn't exactly wanting to talk about this, but today he really wasted no time and is started on a firing spree. And I'm gotta say I'm glad that it's happening because obviously you don't want to see coaches get fired and everything. That's their livelihood, but there's got to be a standard, and clearly something isn't working. There needed to be some changes made, and what do you know? It's exactly the changes that Sea Dog said. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about or something. So, among the fired so far is offensive coordinator Dave Patnode. And then the safeties and cornerbacks coaches, Jeff Popovich and Nate Burton. And Nate Burton was also co-defensive coordinator. And I'm hearing not only that, but defensive coordinator Andrew Thacker is not being fired, but demoted is what I'm hearing too. And I got to say, these are exactly to the T the changes that I was looking for, like every bit of it. It's kind of wild how Jeff Collins knew exactly what was wrong, exactly what was, needed to happen, what positions were weakest, because that's exactly what he went for. And I mean, I got to be honest, I didn't think he had it in him. I really didn't. I didn't think that. You can't tell from his press conferences. He was asked about this, and I was worried too, because he was asked about it in his press conferences. And shout out to the Georgia Tech media. I can't stress this enough. The interviewers and guys that are, writing for the school and everything for the program, they asked the tough questions. He was straight up asked yesterday, how do you feel about your coordinator's position, performance, and the answer he gave made me worried. I said it in my video yesterday. He was like, we're not, gonna talk about that. I couldn't appreciate these guys doing their jobs more. I'm like, great. He's going to die on this hill. He's gonna take his, he's gonna stick with his coordinators, and he's gonna go down with them. But no, he fires offensive coordinator Dave Patnode, which is honestly a long time coming. A lot of fans wanted him fired. Yes, last year the writing was kind of on the wall. Listen, we have talent. We have the players to have a successful offense. It shouldn't be this bad. Shouldn't be this sloppy and unprepared. And I'll get to that later, though, the sloppy and unpreparedness, because it doesn't matter who you fire. That doesn't go away. It starts at the top with that one. That's a Jeff Collins thing. But we could talk about that towards the end. But he gets rid of the offensive coordinator, and I'm okay with this. The scheming is the problem on our offense. It's bad. I've been saying this. I get it. Greatest transition of the freaking history from the triple option. Well, you know what? We have a dual threat quarterback. That's what Jeff Sims is when he's healthy, a dual threat quarterback. He can pass. He just has to be coached up by a coach that he needs to work on his passing and the turnovers. And guess who was also the quarterback's coach? Dave Patnode. That's right. He your practice makes perfect, they say, but perfect practice makes perfect. You got to have a guy in there that can freaking coach up a quarterback. And so getting rid of Dave Patnode, I feel, is an upgrade. We got to go after, and I'll make a video of the candidates and everything that I would like to see offensive coordinator Dan Mullen I was talking about the other day, but I feel like that's kind of a pipe dream. I think Dan Mullen will land somewhere a little better than Georgia Tech, but whatever it is, George Godsey, whatever it is, we need to freaking pony up, show some freaking commitment to it. And I know it's easy for me to say, but, Todd Stansberry's talking about how, Jeff Collins is the guy, and, we're committed to the rebuild. That's why we gave Collins this big old contract. Well, you're committed to the rebuild. You got to get Collins in some coordinators that can help him out, because Collins clearly is not the scheming type. He's really just the head cheerleader. And if this Collins thing is going to work, which Collins got about 1 year left. At the end of this next season, if we're sitting at another 3 wins, that's it for Collins. And that it's going to set our program back in a huge way. If this Collins thing is going to work, we need some coordinators and position coaches in there that know what the hell they're doing. And Patino just wasn't getting it done. He gets the boot. I'm surprised, actually, that it happened, because I just didn't think Collins had it in him. I didn't think that he was going to fire him. And so I am happy to see that happen. And it was much needed. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, you have Andrew Thacker, defensive coordinator, stepping down. Now, I was less quick to call for Andrew Thacker's head, because he's actually a really likable guy, and he seems like he knows his stuff. It just seems like he's just not quite up to the task. And from his press conferences, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. He gets real hyped up on the sidelines. He clearly is just he cares, and he knows his stuff. If you listen to him, he talks about all these kind of freaking formations and everything. So I think that we could find, a place for him on the team, but it's just not working out as DC for him. So it is kind of nice to see him get to stay, but just at a reduced position. And props to the guy for, being humble and taking that demotion, because he is the type to take accountability, and that's what I did kind of like about Andrew Thacker. And again, I'll definitely be making a video on the maybe defensive coordinators we could look at. But at the end of the day, Jeff Collins is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, and Jeff Collins needs to take some accountability for that defense being what it is too. And as far as the defense too, we fire our safeties and cornerbacks coach, which is exactly what we needed to do. That's the reason our defense has been getting torched so bad. Our linebackers and D-line are definitely the strength of the team. I mean, we're not exactly setting the world on fire with sacks or anything, but we've had several key goal line stops thanks to that front seven. So it is nice to see those guys get to stay. Those position coaches, I think that was the right move. I don't think that the D-line and linebackers was a problem. It was us getting beat over the top, receivers running wide open, giving up explosive plays, making these freaking quarterbacks look like Heisman contenders that we play. And I think this was the right move for Jeff Popovich and Nate Burton to get the boot. It's a shame because Nathan, Burton was a Tech alumnus and player. And, I do like the idea of filling the staff out with Tech, former Tech players and everything, Tech coaches, because those when the chips are down, when you're at rock bottom, those are the coaches that care the most, and they're there because they really want to make their school, their program better. So I'm all for that. It's a shame that we had to go. Popovich was a friggin' Miami player. And I'm sure that, they were all bought in and everything. But there's just no excuse for the defense. You can make excuses on the offense for it being the triple option transition or whatnot. Last time I checked, that doesn't have anything to do with the defense. And we got the players and we got the Jimmies and frickin' Joes to not be giving up hundreds of yards. I mean, we given up – jeez, man. We gave up like an average of 500 yards a game in our freaking last half of the season. It's just unbelievable. Something had to be changed. Something has to change on the defensive side of the ball. So, will this be enough? Because, like, again, I said, Collins is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. Will it be enough? We'll see next year. The clock's ticking, though. The clock is definitely ticking. You can feel the pressure turning up on Collins. Todd Stansbury has confirmed Collins is coming back for another year. I think we all knew that because his contract, the way it was structured, is if he was fired before year 4, he would get the entire 7 years paid to him. So it would come out to be like something like we'd have to pay him $13 million or something in a buyout, and that's just we're just not going to do that. So, when you step back and take a look at the big picture and you're transitioning from the triple option, giving the coach a 4-year contract doesn't sound bad on paper, but you get going in the year and you expect to have more than these historic losses by these historic margins. We set more records this year, losing to Northern Illinois at home. Dang. Notre Dame, biggest loss in series history to them. There's just no excuse. We got outscored 100-0 in our last 2 games. I don't care who we're playing, top 6, top whatever team. That's just embarrassing. We're not that bad. We shouldn't be that bad. And we did have some injuries. Jahmyr Gibbs went down that last game. That's a real shame. And there are rumors of him transferring, which absolutely just crushes my soul because he is my favorite player since Calvin Johnson. And don't even get me started on that. That would absolutely break my heart if Jahmyr Gibbs were to transfer. But there's rumors of him, floating around of him transferring, and I really hope not. I really hope not. Moving on. So, videos coming on the coordinators and whatnot that I would maybe like to see. But I got to say, firing all these coaches and whatnot, it can only fix so much. There's problems on this team that have persisted the past 3 years that can't be fixed with, firing these coaches. And it starts with Jeff Collins. And it's things like penalties, unpreparedness. Yeah, coming into games, taking timeouts. We are awful after timeouts. We usually don't convert, and then we'll come out and false start or something or delay a game after a timeout. There's no excuse for that to happen. So there's only so much. Oh, and I forgot to mention offensive line. The offensive line was bad. It was one of the weak links this season, but probably the hardest to transition from the triple option. So I give Brent Key I give him a little more leeway than obviously the defense or the offensive coordinator, because the offensive coordinator position, you have to play to the player's strengths, and it was clear that Pat Node wasn't doing that. We have a dual threat quarterback. We have 3 solid wide receivers. We got 2, real experienced guys and 1 young promising guy. Then we have 3 amazing running backs. And look, we were able to run the ball just fine without Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, we can't just eat that loss. He's, the freaking number 1 yardage in the country for a reason. But so obviously it did hurt. But we have 2 solid running backs behind him, and so yeah, it was, we were able to you know what I mean? We have the pieces on offense to have a successful offense, especially in the ACC, man. The ACC, and this is a down year for the ACC, so there's really no excuse that our offense was as poor as it was. It's the coach, the coordinator, not playing to the scheme that would support our players' talent. Watching him force Jordan Yates to throw it over and over was mind-numbing. Jordan Yates cannot throw the ball. And that, falls on the quarterback development. And you just can't, it took him way too long to put 2 backs in the backfield. I get that you're trying and you keep trying to force the tight end. He had one great play against Georgia. That's about it all year. That tight end had, and it's the second string tight end, and I don't know why he insists on using the tight end. It's going to take a while to get, solid tight end play because we had 0 coming off of the triple option. And our starting tight end got hurt earlier this year. So we don't need to be forcing. I feel like some of the times on the offensive side, they tried to force this new system too much, and we just don't have the players. I get that you have to recruit and show that your recruits that you're throwing to the tight end and stuff like that, but you can't get those recruits if you're losing every game because you're wasting downs trying to throw it to the tight end or trying to force your quarterback that was recruited by Paul Johnson not to throw by forcing him to throw. You know what I mean? And so I feel like they try to force that too much sometimes. Put 2 backs in the backfield. It's called a transition for a reason. You can't jump from triple option to, spreading it out, passing attack and all that. You have to play to your strengths too, or else you're going to lose freaking every game you play. So it's like they're trying to rely too much on the raw talent of the players, and it's just not there yet. And I don't feel like that they put the players in a position to succeed what they could have been. 2 back set, you have a dual threat quarterback back there, 3 solid wide receivers, and 2 backs and that's a dangerous combo. You do some RPOs, keep them on their toes. Have them. Okay, so our offensive line's bad. Have the quarterback immediately roll out of the pocket immediately as he gets the ball snapped. Roll out of the pocket. Have back here, maybe a back running out of the backfield to see if he can pass. Have an option here to pitch it. Have some wide receivers running around. You can't find none of them. That's okay. You got a quarterback that can run. You see what I'm saying here? We have the pieces on offense, and that's something I felt strongly about, and I don't feel like Dave Patnode was taken advantage of. He has some great pieces, and he just squandered it. So I think that cutting him loose was the right move. It's a shame, but we just need to upgrade. We need somebody that can develop quarterbacks and realize the strengths of our offense and play to those strengths. And so I got a little bit off on a tangent, but that's something I felt strong about. And another topic that I'll probably make its own video, I'm not used to Georgia Tech wasting talent. You know what I mean? Usually in the years prior, we haven't had the talent, but we've had the coaching, and it's the talent that's held us back, not the coaching. And so that's kind of what I'm just not used to this. So I feel strongly about it. I feel like these are the right moves being made. I probably rambled on way too long, but these are the clock's ticking down on Jeff Collins, and these are the moves that need to be made, the hard decisions. You don't really want to see somebody get fired, but something had to change. And most likely Collins last year. I have my faith for this staff is at an all-time low. Will this be enough? I don't know. We might see an improvement to 5 wins or something next year. But I don't know, maybe. Anyway, go Jackets. I'll definitely be, staying on this topic, keeping everything updated, and I'll see you guys next time.